There's a bit of a delay, so we're probably not quite live yet. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's say what's up. Good to see you all. Who's in the chat? Let's check. Let's have a look. Nobody. That's cool.
That makes me feel a lot better.
We're super popular.
Episode 25 of What I Listen To. Thanks for tuning in. Got a great panel tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Amanda, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Thanks a lot. Paul, nice to see you again.
See you.
Fourth time, right?
Fourth time.
Fourth time. Andrew, good to see you again. Also fourth time, I think.
Mike, thanks, man. Yeah, great to
With
see
the
you
veterans
guys.
tonight.
Yeah.
Veterans, the rookie host, doesn't really know what he's doing.
I love everybody in the squares tonight. There you go.
I always love everyone in the squares. Sometimes more than other times, but that's how it goes. All right, everyone knows the score. We've got 5 records we've been listening to. We're going to talk about them. We're going to show them. We're going to have a good time with all these different records. Before we get going, everybody.
I got used to this. I'm a pro.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Sang in the
names of my
discharge style. Like and subscribe. The chat's open. Oh, hey, Rusty. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. All right, you all ready? Let's get going. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mike, Japanese beer tonight.
Oh, I was trying to get them to sponsor the show. I kept drinking Sapporo beer every week. It didn't work.
Come on, guys, do it.
It's here.
Isn't that the one that you peel off the top and it becomes like a drinking glass?
This
no, it's
one,
not.
no. This is just like a regular can.
All right.
It's the one you get at 7-Eleven. You could just buy them a single.
Get a chili cheese dog and a Sapporo.
They have the fancier ones at the beer distributor. I didn't go there today.
That's Sapporo's the best of the major label beers, I would say.
Good enough.
Never had one. Now I'm going to have one.
It's pretty good. All right. So I'm going to start off with my short, sharp shock, as I always do. Horrendous record. I've got an absolutely horrendous record to show for my short, sharp shock today. So let's have a look at it. I'm talking about Horrendous.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Can you guess what it sounds like by looking at the jacket?
Oh, yeah. It's got to be like DIY death metal for sure. No.
No. Discharge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Swedish,
nice.
Complete Discharge, Y era Discharge, 7 tracks, super noisy. It just says thanks to discharge on the back of the cover. War is still horrendous, nothing remains, living hell, annihilated, never-ending nightmare, war is reality, all the usual Discharge themes. But it's a good record. I like the kind of the 7-track EP format. Doesn't kind of stay around too long.
What year did it come out?
It came out in 2015, something like that. 2015.
Okay.
Sounds familiar.
It's in Sweden, all these guys playing a million bands, So they're all in other bands in Inferno, that band Inferno, and Fan, Heratis.
Do you read that cover as war is still that horrendous?
Yeah,
I think so, right?
Yeah, horrendous. War is still horrendous. I guess that's what it's. It just says fight back, stay fucking.
I gotta admit, I love that stuff.
Bare bones, meat and potatoes. D-Beat from Sweden. There's a million records that sound like this. If you haven't got this and if you like that style, you probably want to pick it up because they do the Discharge thing pretty well. So,
is there a song called Apathy on there?
No,
because that seems like it's common theme in bands like that.
There's a song, I didn't say this one, Ain't No Worthless Scrote. Nice. Which is a play on Ain't No Feeble Bastard, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm looking them up.
It's pretty. It's
yeah,
good.
I just making notes tonight.
You know what? There was a death metal band called Horrendous. That's
No,
why I said
that's
that.
what.
In Philly.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why you said that. Yeah,
That's why I said that.
They're good too. So yeah, that's
I remember them.
My short, sharp shock to get things
Very
on the
good.
way. A Horrendous record.
Great choice, man.
Cheers. All right, Amanda, what's your first pick of the day?
Oh no, what is it? All right, I'll keep it classy. I'm gonna go with. I know that it would make Andrew happy if I showed a Lizzy. So
You know I'm a fan.
I feel like Nightlife just doesn't get talked about enough, and
perfect
this
record.
is the prettiest copy I've ever seen. So I just wanted to hold it up next to my face. Wow, it's beautiful.
Isn't that like the first Japanese pressing?
I think it is.
It's got the really wide obi. So
yeah,
that's a good indication that it's an old pressing.
I don't know if I know that record.
Oh, that's the one for me, man. Vagabonds and this, I think, are my top two.
I mean, it's got people say that that's like the beginning of like the real Thin Lizzy. You know, that's what people say. I don't know if that's
said it, man. You're
like,
right.
We could debate that for a long time.
Yeah. But, the dual guitar stuff, you know.
That's my theme tonight. Is common yet still underrated. I think.
Nice. It's kind of mellow record, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
right.
They call it like their coffee house record. But I thoroughly enjoy it every time. It's great.
They're one of those bands that just never kind of really entered my atmosphere. I've missed everything about them, so I'm kind of rediscovering a little bit.
There was like a Thin Lizzy best of when I was a kid, like the definitive collection that came out,
Dedication.
Yeah, it's.
Dedication is the best.
It's
Then
amazing.
that's the one I'm gonna
but
get.
I hated Showdown when I was a kid.
Oh,
like I loved the opening of Showdown. I was like, oh, it's so cool. But then the chorus is so cheesy, and eventually it just grew on me to the point where I was like, this is amazing. Everything about it is amazing.
Paul, the problem with Dedication is it's only I have the vinyl, but it's only a UK only vinyl.
I was gonna say
on Vertigo,
I never
so you
saw
have
the
to
LP.
get the CD. But it's worth it. Just check it out on streaming. You'll like it has all the best songs. And Dedication is a great song too. It's actually a different band song that they redid, right, or something like that.
Yes.
What was it?
And also relatively cheesy, but great. Just so great.
No, it reminds
me
of like an All song, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds like what All was doing in the 90s, you know?
Yeah,
you would like it, Paul.
They don't really have any like bad records. It's like
they really don't.
They really don't. I did a video ranking and I can't remember what my exact order was, but like I think I said it, they don't really have like any bad albums at all.
I mean, I can't think of a single one. Not even like I don't like a lot of live stuff. I'm really picky about live stuff. Even Live and Dangerous is flawless.
Hey, I tell you, the really good one is like the BBC, the BBC live thing with the green jacket.
Oh, I wish I had that. Can't find it.
That one's getting like really expensive now.
It's getting pricey, man. Even to import it, you got to like pay big time. People know.
Yeah,
I've tried.
Thin Lizzy is always welcome on the show.
I got plenty of it, so
I was actually tempted to kind of pull out all my Japanese.
Yeah, I got a nice chunk.
I have the Japanese compilation one. You ever see that one with the Obi? I have it. I was gonna pull it out too. Like, so funny.
I could pull out my Japanese Black Rose. We could go all night. Let's go all night.
We could. Great band. I think it's one of those bands that I don't know anybody that doesn't like Thin Lizzy. You know.
I mean, my age, they like only knew Jailbreaker.
Boys are
back in town. That's it. I don't think anyone knew they existed beyond that. But
Whiskey in the Jar got more popular because Metallica covered it. So
there you go.
Yeah, no one knew that was a. They're like Thin Lizzy. They what?
Like most Metallica covers, people thought it was their song, right?
Right.
Oh well,
nobody knew Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil were like other band songs back then.
I thought Cat Scratch Fever was Pantera when I was a little kid, and my dad like wound up to hit me. He's like, "Listen, you better learn."
That makes sense. I can see that.
I was like 3.
All right.
Yeah. How's that supposed to know?
All right. Paul, what you got for us? By the way, forgot to say, happy birthday, Paul.
Oh, thank you, guys. You know what? Let's have a little drink for that.
Happy birthday, my brother.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So my first pick is for Andrew Orlando fans of Andrew Orlando who like Andrew Orlando's synth pop fixations.
Yeah, okay.
You guys know this band, Homefront?
Yeah, man. Of course.
So, okay.
Wow.
It just happens to be right there. It's not one of my picks. It's just
that's crazy.
Right there you go.
It is like has the best elements of like OMD and Killing Joke, and some of the songs even have some of that like what is that Space Age love song Flock of Seagulls element to them. But all of the songs, although sweet and sappy and minimal synth, are dark as fuck. Yeah. They're all just about like the destruction and annihilation of everything. And it's just like super sad and like give up now, tomorrow will be much worse kind of like feel to it. But they're so just like happy. You're like, yeah, I'm totally giving up now. It's a great record. I love it so much. And it was just Matt Weeks, who does Council Records, the guy who does current Wrong War. Dude,
what about Ottawa?
And Ottawa. Oh my God. Kiss the goat. So he put one of those tracks on his page or some bullshit one day, and I was like, damn it, man. I thought stuff like this didn't exist anymore. And of course they're Canadians because most good things still do come from Canada. Yeah, so that's my pick. And I was inspired. I thought, Andrew, if you didn't know it, I was gonna hopefully turn it on to you because I remembered how much you like that Ministry record.
Yep. No, I like Homefront for sure. I don't have the record, but I listen to it on streaming and stuff. But
that's crazy. You had it right there, Mike.
You should get it.
Yeah, it's literally right here because I bought it like last week, so I've been listening to it a lot. It's not.
How much does it go for? It's $20.
It's brand new. It's just come out, so it's like.
Oh yeah. In fact, I got my copy, and they still have copies at Extreme Noise. When I was there, I put a stack, and I turned around, and it was there, and I was like, "Damn it, this!" Oh, and this because they had the Long Knife record too. And I was like, "I want both of these. Keep bringing."
Yeah,
it's
Homefront, Games of Power on La Vida Essenmus from London, who's got a lot of stuff coming out soon. A lot of great stuff in the pipeline as well. So.
That's great.
We've got to mention that one song that kind of has a blitz kind of flavor. That's the singer from The Chisel who sings on one.
That's the one. That's the song I heard.
Nations. There's a really.
Oh no shit!
That's the singer.
I didn't know that.
Chisel
that's the song I heard.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've never heard that band, The Chisel, because whenever I see it, I think it's going to be.
I listened to it. I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good."
I thought it was just Ted Leo acoustic or unplugged or something, so I just always forwarded past it, and then I found out it's a current hardcore band. So maybe I need to revisit it.
Yeah, it's funny because they kind of released that as a single, and that one song is like not quite like all the other songs on the record, so it was a bit jarring for me when I first got it. But it's a great record. Yeah. Absolutely.
If I'm going to pick it apart, I didn't hear them apart from that one song, so I just figured it was like, oh, that must be like they're giving the bass player a chance to sing a song, kind of thing. I didn't know it was somebody completely separate from the band coming in. Those records are all of a sudden, like, this doesn't sound like anything. It must be the bass player doing his song. Like, oh, I want to contribute. I say that because I'm a bass player, and that's really how it goes. All right, Andrew.
Yes.
There we go, man. I'm going with a sharp shock myself here.
Nice.
Suppression, Bastard Noise. Now, this is not a split record. This is a pure collaboration record.
Whoa.
So it's Suppression, the mighty Suppression, Power Violence Kings, been around for a long, long, long ass time. And Bastard Noise doing this record, Infernal Legions together. And it's incredible. This is like the Power Violence record of the year for me so far. It is. I don't think anything is going to top it. It's just the production of the music is unbelievable. The songs are not like really short songs. They're a little more drawn out, but very, very well done. And the noise stuff on here is like Prog. Like Wood is like doing Prog, like almost like guitar solos over Suppression songs with noise. It's incredible. It's just like crowning achievement for these guys together, and really good stuff, man. They have a song called "Shit Caravan." You can't go wrong with that. That's one of the best songs on the record, actually.
What is that about?
I don't know. I can get the lyrics out, but it's on Anthems the Undesirable, a label from Virginia. So it's you could find it, but
just go to Vinyl Conflict.
Vinyl Conflict probably has it.
Sure, he's got it.
Vinyl Conflict, Bobby.
Shout out to Bobby.
I love that episode too.
He was just here a couple of weeks ago.
I know. I was jealous hanging out with you in person. But yeah, this record is unbelievable. You know, I'm kind of speechless. I don't know how to describe it, except it's like the best parts of Crossed Out with best parts of Suppression and Bastard Noise Wood doing like noisescapes, but in a prog way. Like kind of like with it was crazy to hear him doing like it's like almost like guitar solos over the Suppression. Really cool.
Damn.
But noise.
Man, I want to hear about
really good. Hard to top.
Uncommon Parlor. If you see his it broke his brain in half. So I'm almost as interested in the record as I am in his recovery process.
The first time I ever saw Suppression, my jaw was just like on the floor. And they're still amazing. They're like one of those bands like Drop Dead. They just keep going, you know, keep going and keep putting out great stuff. Right. Suppression is great dudes too. But they both do the vocals on this are Jason and the drummer Ryan doing trade-offs a lot. And
cool.
It's just bass, drums, and noise electronics, and it works perfectly. They worked on it for a really long time. I got a little backstory on it, and they really took their time on it to make sure it was like perfect production, got everything nailed down tight. The noise is tasteful. You know, it's really, really, really good. I usually don't go for the noise myself, but it's otherworldly on this one. So
I wouldn't have known about the record if it wasn't for you showing
yeah, good. Seek it out, man. It's I don't know how many copies have made it to Japan, but I'm sure you can get one. I'm sure they'll get over there.
Cool.
I hope. You know, it sucks, you know, a lot of it these DIY records, right? We press 200, 200, 300, and they sell out in mail order, and we're happy, right?
Right.
It's weird. It's like, and they don't really get around the world like they used to.
True.
That's
once
the sad
they're gone,
part,
they're gone, right?
But that's just how the world is these days, you know?
Yeah. Nice.
That's my first.
All right, cool. I don't know if you guys like mess around on YouTube much. I have like a really long commute to work, so I tend to spend a lot of it like staring at YouTube and like just watching stuff and listening to stuff. But every now and again, it'll pay off. I'll get like a recommendation in the like algorithm, and this is one of those. And it just came up in my like recommendations, and I just played it. It was the full album on YouTube, and I played it. I was like, man, this is really, really, really good. And I like played it every morning on the way to work, on the way back home from work. And then I kind of like, and I loved it. And then I kind of started looking up information about the band, and it kind of clouded my judgment of it a little bit. I don't know if that ever happens to you when you kind of find out certain things, but it's still a great, great record. It's an LA band. They're called Sweat.
Oh, cool.
There's a little hint in the title, Gotta Give It Up. Kind of looks like a private pressing, like 70s hard rock album from Denmark, you know, from like 1973, but it's not. They're a hardcore band from LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Will you turn the cover the other way?
The other way?
No, so it's like she's sitting.
Oh, no, she's like exercising, right?
I can't tell by her posture if she's like sitting and they just turn the photo that way.
Right.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Is it what year are they from?
It's brand new. It's new.
Brand new. Okay.
Brand new.
And it came out on Pirates Press Records.
Okay, yeah.
Who put out, you know, like Rancid and the Old Firm Casuals and like
they do a lot of
Sparrow box sets, and it's a little bit out of my usual like, you know, range of interest.
They repressed Coxbar and stuff like that.
Yes.
What was it about that you liked about the sound of it?
Well, it's basically like a hardcore band, but they have like all these like 70s rock influences in there, and like straightforward like punk too. It's weird because like the first 2, 3, maybe 4 songs are kind of mid-paced, and then like the 4th or 5th song, they're almost like doing these kind of blast beats almost, which kind of threw me off.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a female vocalist, amazing vocalist, like really powerful vocalist. I think they're a 3-piece. But yeah, it's one of my favorites this year.
Conversely to that, what was it about them that you read that you're like, yeah?
Well, just like the whole Pirates Press thing, which is like not usually my thing. Okay. And then like that, okay, this is it. And the hype description of it, where they kind of threw like every band at the war. Like, you know, they're a mix of like the Wipers and the Cro-Mags and Mass Hysteria and Rival Mob and Motorhead and Thin Lizzy. You know, like that's a thing these days, right? So you got to right.
Expanded genres, you know.
Yeah, my friend Jen from LA would say like pick a genre and stick to it. But this is a great record, really fun record. It's like Thin Lizzy, like twin leads on it.
I like that you're bringing up new stuff because as you do it, I'm just like adding it to a cart. I just work for a one stop, so I carry everything. I'm just saying, Paris Press. All right, no problem.
This is a great record. I love it. I posted on Facebook. I got kind of some mixed reactions to it. Everyone's like, "Yeah, that's a killer record."
I'm happy you cleared that up because I was like, and then all of a sudden I found out that they eat orphans. So like I wasn't sure like what you dug into.
Like Pirates Press. I was like, yeah, Sweat. Got to give it up. They've got a single out as well, and I think a tape. They're an active band. It's new. Come out in February, I think. So yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man.
I actually really like the cover of that.
It is right. It does cool. Really look like an old like 70s hard rock.
Yeah,
from
I would have thought that. Yeah, like
right. I think that's like you know.
I was made for loving you 12-inch Kiss single or something.
Yeah. Is that the singer on the cover?
No, it's not.
Fuck, Andrew, I love you so much. That's amazing.
It's not. No.
That's great.
This is like a Danish one from 1980 or something on the cover.
Got it.
As far as we know, like I'm just gonna pretend it's the singer now.
Yeah, that's a singer.
Also, you can't see this, but it's got like a beautiful like textured cover, like a matte, like a matte cover. Sweat, got to give it up.
I'm a sucker for texture.
Yeah, it's nice, and doesn't get your fingerprints all over it, you know. All right, Amanda, what's your second pick?
Oh no, back to me. Wait. Let's do a Ron pick.
I think
for Ron.
Know. Who?
No, I feel like you'll be.
Yeah.
It's an oldie but a goodie, and I've been listening to it nonstop recently. I just can't stop.
Crazy.
I think it's my favorite one now. I never got into it. Like all the crusties in high school were listening to it when I wasn't punk enough for them, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna listen to the Stooges. Respect your roots, man. But I love it, and I'm obsessed with it now. So it's a great record.
That's like
I think I got them all one by one from Ron.
That band is like the Thin Lizzy of punk rock for me too. They just never really entered my atmosphere, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Yeah.
I mean, I love this one so much. It's also really nice, like embossed. I'm just a sucker for all that shit. Love it. But yeah, it's a beautiful record and it's great. It's flawless. I played it at Vinyl Addiction one day. I don't know if you know that guy George. I'm trying to think of his last name, but he's like a regular there, and he's always a generation.
George Norton.
Yes, good friends with Ron. Yeah, I popped it on while I think Dave just went to like down the block to get Modelo's, and he's like, "Oh, pop on whatever you want." I threw this on. George just turns around and goes, "Man, that's punk as fuck, bro." I'm like, cool. Glad someone approves, but it's a great record.
Yes, you are.
If you're gonna listen to Conflict, check that one out first.
That's the third record, right? Like the third album, I think. Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I'm going for, like 2s and 3s on this round.
Yeah. I mean, they were a big band, like for us, like someone my age. They were like Crass and Conflict and all that. You know, anarcho punk was like a huge influence on.
Oh yeah.
On me, like growing up.
It's my dad's bread and butter.
Yeah, I saw him live once around that time. It was pretty crazy.
I'm a little personally embarrassed that I didn't pick this out, but Gern Blanston on the thread said, "Your guys' record collections are lined up perfectly."
That is so cool.
I just noticed that.
I didn't.
Hey, Charles. How you doing?
Oh, that's awesome.
What's up, Charles?
And talking of Ron, hey Mike.
Really?
Mike says he ate Indian food with hashtag Ron Grimaldi.
What's up, Mike?
I think you mean Mongo Bobby. I think Mike was even there when I told that story at MDF. All right, is it my turn?
Yes, come on, Paul.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get right to it. Dead Silence box 7-inch set.
Cool.
And so it doesn't have the Hope record, which the song Hope isn't even on that record. And it doesn't have the For Your Ego's Sake 7-inch. I don't know, like back when these back in like the late 80s, early 90s, every band had like a 15-page booklet of some stuff that was going out. I remember the For Your Ego's Sake 7-inch came out and told you all about like not like there's a woman on the cover putting eyeliner on, and it wasn't about makeup tips. The thing inside was about like which shampoos not to use because they poison rabbits with them or whatever. So there was an education. So this box set happened to come out. I grabbed it from Rabbit Records. And the thing about it, it's 4 7-inches, 4 readily available, like 50-cent 7-inches in most bins that you can find. It has the, like, this was originally, I think, a split with Tit Wrench. So it has the Tit Wrench songs aren't on this. So this is maybe just a benefit to have it without the Tit Wrench songs. However, it comes with a great booklet. And instead of the 50 cents, you can get these Dead Silence records. Do you guys know the band?
Yeah. Familiar.
Yeah.
And you get a booklet of them talking about their times during, and I was a fan of sort of the off-kilter bands a little bit. So like Dead Silence, Descent, Libido Boys, the weird middle America bands that nobody at the time was really looking at. I just felt a kinship with, maybe from being from middle America. A little bit quirky, not hardcore enough to be hardcore, not metal enough to be metal, but just different enough. Their songs would be about like why you shouldn't not eat meat or whatever. Money's bad and don't work or whatever. Christ on a crutch. That style of band, right? So when I saw that this came out, I just had to throw down for it. And now I have a little booklet and I could read about their time.
That's awesome.
In the bands. And they actually played with like decent bands. Political Asylum, Moral Crux, Green Day. They had some like decent shows. And that, my friends, is my Dead Silence 4 7-inch box set that I think everybody should get. Although nobody will. I don't know. I'll bring it one year and you'll be able to find it for $1.
I don't know. My carts are building as we go, so we'll see.
It's very peace punk. They were part of the hippie punk, hippie core movement. Very growly vocals, very catchy tunes. They were on a Maximum Rock and Roll comp as well. I fucking love the stuff. I can't get enough of it. I listened to them just today to remind myself why I should not eat meat and why capitalism is bad, just to refresh myself. But it's a great box set. It's got a picture on the cover too, and the song title's on the back.
Look what Charles said, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Money's bad, Paul.
He knows. But sometimes, look, I've been to Charles's house and I've seen his records, and he's got a lot of great penny records too. So
that's funny that you mentioned the makeup thing. Not to get too political, but literally 2 hours ago, I saw that in England they've reversed that law. It's been like illegal for 25 years to test cosmetics on animals, and they've like just reversed it.
So you can start again?
Yeah, apparently that's why.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
So I got some shampoo ideas, and I have nowhere to test them on because all the moms around here won't let me put them in their kids' eyes. So I'm going to England. Who's got a box of rabbits for me? Figuring a little spaghetti lavender. Who knows? We got to test it in somebody's eyes.
I thought it was the land of anti-vivisection. What's going on here?
Now it's anti-vivisection.
Now you know why all the there was those conflict records that were so passionate about all that stuff, because it was a big deal, and now it seems to have been.
That's
reversed.
crazy.
So, crazy. Right? All right, Andrew, what's your second?
Let's switch gears here.
All right.
So I got Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Animal. So you guys know about this one at all?
Yes.
So take all the best Velvet Underground songs, and this is a live record, by the way. I'm not into live records myself, but there's rare exceptions. I was in my local record store, and they were playing this, and I'm like, I didn't know Lou Reed could play guitar like that. Like, it was like there's some really like Thin Lizzy type stuff injected. They kind of like redid all the like Sweet Jane, White Light, White Heat, Heroin, rock and roll, all that stuff. The really good tracks, right? And there's like a really cool intro into Sweet Jane. And it's all like really, he amassed like the best musicians and did this rock rendition of like the best Velvet Underground stuff, right? And apparently, I read a little backstory on it, which I thought was really cool, is that Alice Cooper stole all the musicians for his band after he heard this record.
Believable?
Is that right, Amanda?
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, right? So like, I guess Lou Reed probably hated Alice Cooper too, but he hated everybody, right? The Beatles, all that shit. Right? I like Lou Reed. He was just like a curmudgeon, you know, and he's actually from one town over from where I live. He's from Freeport.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's from Freeport.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
We should talk about that more than
one of those
Billy Joel.
One of those like classic curmudgeon guys, but he was good, you know. But the guys in the band are in here, and who are they?
George.
Dick Wagner on guitar.
Everyone loves George.
Steve Hunter, nice. Yeah, and the drummer I think was in Alice Cooper also. That's pretty cool. You know, it's a really good record, really good. And they were playing it. I'm like, how much? I was like, I'll buy it. And the cover's a little beat up, so they gave it to me like $5. I'm like, you can't go wrong with that. So I've been listening to it a lot. It's great.
Amanda, what did you have a question for?
Oh no, I was wondering if it was Mark at High Fidelity who was playing it.
It was.
I had a feeling.
That's where I was. Yeah. So shout out to Mark.
You know what? I'd see that record all the time. I've never heard it.
Yeah, check it out. I think you'll like it because it's really intricate musicianship, and it shows how good those songs were because it kind of elevates them a lot, you know. And they're much longer arrangements. It's not just like the 3 minutes. It's like they kind of did like the whole like you know, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like the Prog thing, you know. They drew everything out, but really great guitar playing on it. I was shocked. I was like, wait, I know this. I like this song, Heroin. What's going on here? This doesn't sound like this. And it was, I couldn't believe it was. You know, Lou Reed was just singing on it. He wasn't playing guitar, but the guys are really good musicians. So it's definitely worthy of the rock and roll animal moniker title of the record. I can see why he named it that.
Definitely like iconic photo.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. And you know, like I said, I really don't go for live records at all, and that's one that's totally killer, for sure. So check it out. Cool. Cheap. You probably get it for like $5 to $10.
Really? Still? It's crazy how things like that
how much
go.
I get it for?
I guess like, you know, a lot of copies pressed, you know.
Yeah,
millions.
This is the original, but the cover's got like splits in it and stuff, so they hooked me up. You know, but the vinyl was really good. He cleaned it on his machine, and you know, sounds great.
Yeah, I heard about the GoFundMe for Anthony's birthday.
I'll talk more. I have another record to talk about that machine later. But
all right. Mem was talking about that machine when he came on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Claudio machine. It's like $6,000 or something like that. But it literally takes 7 minutes to clean a record. It goes through cycles while you. It's like a wash cycle, a dry cycle. It's hooked up to like a water reservoir. It's like crazy. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Crazy.
It's fun to watch. Actually, it's really loud. I mean, I'll tell you an example of it. A record later that a record I didn't like listening to because it sounded shitty on my system. And I got it. We'll talk about it later.
It's so crazy because I just come from a. Amanda, go ahead.
I just want to talk one thing about what Charles just said about Scorpion's Worldwide Live record being your favorite record instead. Here's the cool thing about that record. One, that's a fucking great record, right?
No, Live in Italy is my favorite live record.
Well, Scorpion's Worldwide Live is great. And the one thing about that makes that so amazing to me is if you look at this list of places where it was recorded, it's like Singapore, Berlin, San Francisco.
Yeah,
Charlevoix, Michigan. Well, the fact is, they played at the really small place called Castle Farms, which is linked to the Leopold and Loeb murders, where they butchered a child and like spread them all over for ransom. They played there, and then it goes back to like New York City. Fucking crazy, and I love because like going down there, it's like this, like a town of like 3,000 people. They just happen to have a stage big enough. They played that, and then all these major places.
That's
and
so
it's a good
cool.
record. Sorry. Charles, that is mine, and you.
Bake CD nights.
yes. God, I got to put that up.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Punk and saxophone. What do you reckon? In? Yes or no? Yay or nay?
Why not?
You
Wait.
into it? Yeah. Depends.
Like a ska band or
no. Just like
James Chance. I don't know. Let's see what you got.
Well, if it's contortions, yes.
It's punk with saxophone, but new. Pretty new,
Oh.
like a couple of years old. They've got another record out, even new. I haven't got it yet. So they're another like contemporary band, but made up of like old guys. The drummer of Anti-Cimex, Charlie.
Oh wow.
The guitarist is Brian from Doom, UK Doom. They have this band that I think formed because of COVID, and they just were doing all over the internet. Let me get to it. I've had Horrendous, Sweat. Next, I'm going to go with Pisser. That's the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy record. It's like...
Looks cool.
I mean, they're doing something I would say that's kind of pretty new. It's like hardcore, a little bit of D-beat with these really nice like sax like lines over it. And a little bit psychedelic.
Yeah, I can't even comprehend what you're saying right now.
With that pedigree, though,
I love that.
What the fuck you're talking about? It's crazy.
With that pedigree, you probably have to check it out.
Yeah,
I got this real cheap. It's on like a whole bunch of different labels put it out, like Cimex Records from Sweden. I just think it was like a COVID project, and they did for fun. It was recorded in England, the 1 in 12 Club, which is like a real cool like DIY club, or mixed. Sorry, at the DIY, the 1 in 12 Club. It's crazy because they've got like they kind of list like what they were listening to when they made this record, and if you kind of go through some of the bands, it starts to make sense. So, do you mind if I like read some of their like what they were listening to? Because it's got the list at the bottom to give you an idea of like. So it's like Noi, X-Ray Specs, Impalers, Cravats, Fall, Discharge, Cardiacs, Contortions, Out Cold, Sun Children, Greenberry, Budos Band, Silver Apples, Gong, Pop Group, Voivod, No Means No, Death Side, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Flipper. So it's all over the place, right?
Wow.
That's amazing. And there's a fun fact in there. Budo's band, the bass player of Budo's band, Grover, was in CR with Mike D.
Oh, no shit.
Damn. I did not know. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Grover's the man.
Man, everything links up in the show. Like, literally, just before the show, I saw that Budos Band are coming to Japan.
Go to the show and tell them you know me.
They're playing at the fucking Fuji Rock Festival, which is like this massive festival.
Too far.
Yeah. So, man, it's crazy. Everything like ties in, right?
It does.
So yeah.
Old punks never die. See that? That's cool, man.
Pisser. Crushed Down to Paste. It's a pretty cool album title.
Like, how is it lyrically? Is it like tongue in cheek and goofy, or like songs about hamburgers?
Okay.
Or...
Actually, I can see. Dance to your Bluttenboden beat, warped ideology in every move. This is like an anti-Nazi song. And then they go into like molecular damage, reliance on others, suck your soul dry, burning bridges, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
It's awesome.
And the last song, I've got to say, like the last song is fucking amazing. It's like quite long. It's like 6 minutes long. And it does get into that kind of crowd. It's like krautrock mixed with D-beat.
It's amazing.
Kind of crazy, yeah.
Can't wait to check that out. Amanda, you buying a couple of copies of that?
I really am, yeah. Really.
They have a new one I don't have yet. This is like from a couple of years ago. They have another one. I haven't heard it. Or,
yeah, that's what, 2020? The one you're showing us now?
Yeah.
And
you're looking it up right now.
Oh, I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it.
She's on her system. She does this for a living.
That's all I do. So all day. You ask me about a record, I have to know. Have to know quick.
I like that's cool. But I was gonna put an addendum to this. They weren't really the first band to do this. There was a Japanese band in the 90s that were kind of doing a similar thing. So I just thought I'd show those records too, in case anybody missed this band. It's the Colored Rice Men. 90s Japan. Lots of ex-members in this band, like from Lip Cream and Alto and like some of the big names. It's like hardcore punk. It's great, right? If you look at it, it's like skyscrapers and stuff on the monkey's head.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes like a while to figure out what it is. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they were kind of doing a similar thing. I'm kind of thinking they were kind of listening to this too, even though they didn't put the name of the band on the record. But yeah,
very cool.
Colored Rice Men. If you want more hardcore punk with saxophone, there you go.
Piss
Who
off.
doesn't?
Pisser.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. got all the good band names tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Amanda, what's next?
It is me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm feeling the pressure. Okay.
No pressure. There's no pressure.
I'm gonna hope. I'm gonna hope.
Oh!
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Love it.
I constantly pitch that as the best record ever made, and people just laugh at me.
I have had similar experiences.
Like every time I listen to it, it just gets better and better and better and better. And
what
they're like
is it?
15, 16 years old. It's called Rock Goddess. This
Rock
is the self-titled.
Goddess.
It's like girl school-ish. It's just like chick metal. Just goes, pairs well with Motorhead.
Well, it was produced by Vic Mail, right? So it sounds like exactly like Motorhead and Girls' School with that, like.
And I mean, the singer's like 16 here. She sounds like a 40-year-old woman.
Two sisters,
drummer,
right?
I think's like 14. I mean, crazy young.
The Lamb sisters, right?
Insanely good. I mean,
when did
the
that
second
come out?
one, 83.
Yeah.
And then I think Hell Hath No Fury, maybe like a few years later.
So now she probably sounds like a 200-year-old woman.
They actually recently like reunited. I think within the last 10 years they reunited, went back on tour, did like a small tour. But just a flawless record, their first one, just flawless.
I guarantee you, I bought my copy from your dad.
Yeah, it's sad they never made like a U.S. pressing of this.
No, but I got one. You had an import for sure.
There might not be, but there's another version with a different cover.
Yes, it's the Japanese.
Don't
rub it in.
That's why I have that one.
I'm looking for it.
If I see it, I'll pick it up.
What what's the price range on that thing? Is it pretty affordable?
No one really knows about it, so it's like $20-$30.
It was like I got it like $15.
Yeah,
from your dad.
I think it's still.
If you
like
have an extra and you bring one to the Maplewood Record Show on May 21st, I will grab it from you.
I'll be there. Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy to see that record.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. There you go. Mike knows.
I mean, it really is. It's like, I always feel like a bit lazy when I compare it to Girls' School, but similar.
I mean, it is. Everyone knows Girls' School, so it's like the easiest explanation.
Right.
But it is.
Is that the back cover of it? That's incredible.
It's a sick record,
punky,
dude.
Right?
Yeah,
really great.
Rock Goddess, amazing. It's so powerful, but really super melodic and like almost.
Yep. It's so catchy, crazy catchy.
Damn.
And even like the slower parts, the build is so. Oh, it's so perfect.
It is. It kind of starts off slow, right? The beginning of the record, and you're like, oh god, it's like, what's this? And it does.
Kicks in.
It just really picks up. Yep, it's incredible.
Was it a thing where like they only had one record, or were they a band for 13
Hell Hath No
years?
Fury was definitely like 85 maybe, the second one.
It's nowhere near as good though, unfortunately. It's okay.
And after that, they just kind of fell off. Yeah, no one
heard
about them again until late 2000s. But they did put out a third record in the late 2000s.
Classic. And one of them was playing in Girls' School too, right? In recent years, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they did a few, but it was really just. Oh wow, the Hell Hath No Fury was actually the same year, 83.
Really? Wow.
Yep, back to back. So you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I think I have it actually. Probably, I should have it.
I definitely have it in here. It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you like 80s like hard rock, new wave of British heavy metal, it's like up there.
I mean, the second one's worth owning, but this one's just like worth treasuring. Like it's that good. Just every time you see it, buy it. No regrets.
It really kind of gets like the blood pumping. It's crazy.
Yeah,
really.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, I have it on the list. And if you have an extra copy, I'll grab it from you. In Maplewood.
I should ask. I know Joe at Infinity has one lying around somewhere. Like bought it in a collection, just hasn't gone out yet. I should keep badgering him about it. See if he can come up with it.
Yeah.
I should stop by this weekend. I'll check.
Yeah. I just weirdly ask him every time I see him. He's like, not yet. I haven't found it yet.
I do the same thing though. Like if I see records that I already own that I'd like, and that just seem like this has been here for a while, I'm like, I'm gonna grab that because there's a person in my life that hasn't heard this, and I'm gonna fucking give this to that person, and they're gonna be like, "Holy crap!" I did that with like a Moving Targets record, my friend Derek, and there's a few other things here and there that I've just pieced out to people. They're like, "Oh my god, this is what I've been waiting to hear." I'm like, "I know.
This is what my spare was meant for."
You're a good man, Paul.
I do that too sometimes. It's like
I do that all the time. That's a problem for me, like a huge problem.
It's like, shit, no, I can't afford the record I wanted.
Charles does that for us too. Charles does that. He texts us records every day that are available, right?
Yeah. I just bought a Breaking Circus record from my buddy Kurt because he loves that song "Knife in a Marathon," and I was like, and he doesn't have the record, so I'm like, dude, I'll buy this for you. It's $5, and it's in Minneapolis, so you're never gonna be here to grab it, so it's yours now. All right, so my pick, Power Supply. I know you guys are thinking like, why would you choose a record with Andy Taylor and Robert Palmer? Well, that's Power Station. This is Power Supply. Totally different band. This is an Aussie band.
Air Supply and Power Station together.
So back to my friend Kurt. And this is funny that you said this earlier, Andrew, because I was going to say the same thing. Elements of this are like the Chills, all lo-fi, clean rock and roll music. And a lot of it sounds like the good Velvet Underground songs. I literally was going to say that. Like the ones that are like Stephanie Says and like that kind of stuff. Like the better, more sort of like upbeat, almost jangly, lo-fi garage rock Velvet Underground songs. There's some of the songs are just like long, pretty, almost ethereal, just guitar, bass, and drums like drifting. To me, springtime right now, like buds are budding, it's getting warmer out. This is the kind of thing that I would transfer to CD and put in my car with the windows down and go on like a 40-minute drive until it was over, turn around and listen to it again on the way back to where I was going. Like I just love it for its simplicity, and there's some silly qualities to it where he's trying to there's a song kind of about math and infinity and how it's just breaking his brain trying to figure it out, but it's just such it's just a great driving record, great springtime record. It's old too, 2021. So when I say old, like it's 2 years old, but it looks silly. Like it looks like I've talked before about like Hobbit music and wizard music that I listen to. This is not that. There's no wizards or hobbits in this.
It just resembles that.
It just resembles it. Like there'd be this realistically, if you were to add something, it'd be a bunch of blokes under a tree, probably with a fire, drinking some beer and just like kicking back on a lazy, misty day.
Wow. Everything you guys are bringing up is affordable, new.
Oh, really?
I'm really liking this. This is good.
Oh, you wait till you get to my next pick.
Yeah, so it's a Aussie record. It probably has people like from, I don't know, all of the current Aussie bands right now. Hobbit rock forever. Yeah, I fucking just got, by the way, Mike D, I ordered another Hobbit rock record. Hole Dweller just came out.
What?
Probably comes with a porcelain pipe and like a wooden box and some scroll or some shit. But yeah, I'm a sucker for that. Anyway, so this though is different from that, and take hold because it's definitely worth the money. It might take a couple listens. It might be a thing that you put on and then realize you've listened to it like 6 times and don't even know that it's there. But to me, that's part of the brilliance of the record is that, oh shit, I've listened to this thing like 6 times and I'm still not motivated to take it off, but to flip it over again and to flip it over again. So there's that. Thank you, Kurt, if you're watching.
I've just noticed that Paul is back to front.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Sorry, I just like go down into the cogwheel.
Yeah,
underneath
cogwheel.
It's under the screen,
settings,
and then video, and then like just
mirror.
video, and then click the
mirror camera.
Mirror, yes.
Standard definition.
Oh no, below that, it's like a little button that just says mirror video or something like that. Mirror camera.
It's like a switch.
A little slide.
Turn on.
A little switch.
Maybe this will be it. Enter full screen. No, forget it. You know what, people?
We can deal with it, right?
Just read backwards.
my
my voice isn't speaking backwards, right? I didn't say power supply, and you're like, wait, but that thing says loopy pasupita. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We got you, man.
Yeah, that's charm to the show. All right, Jesus.
I'm up.
Yes, Andrew, it's your turn. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Voivod. I always got to do a Voivod record, man. Periscope. This is the Nothing Face demos that Blackie himself put out. This is incredible. If you like Nothing Face, right? Who doesn't?
I do.
Yeah, of course. So this is the grittier version of Nothing Face, right? These are the demos, so it's a little more punk, you know, a little more less polished, less keyboards, you know, and it's kind of like the.
We figured it.
Congrats! Hey.
So just real quick,
this is really cool though.
Power supply.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Dueling.
Do I need to hold up the Dead Silence record too? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this has everything on the Nothing Face except for the Pink Floyd cover.
Whoa.
So.
Okay.
Maybe they must have did that after. Maybe they did that in the studio, you know. But they did it
Didn't
well.
they have that? They do that because they needed like one more song or something.
I think that's what it was. They did one more song, and they did Astronomy Domine, and they did the video for that too, right? Cube thing that was the rotating. It was really cool effect how they did it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is called Periscope. Nothing Faces this, and Nothing Faces that. So it's really cool, man. Blackie himself put this out. You buy it from him, and he'll ship it to you right away.
Oh shit!
So he has a label called Mine Records.
Wow.
Out of Montreal, and you know, it's one of those things you really have to buy it from him directly. You're not going to find this in a store, you know. And the only reason I know about this stuff is because one of my best buddies in the chat here, Mike DiLorenzo, he bought me a copy of he did an Angel Rat demos before this. So this is the second Voivod record he's done. And, you know, sanctioned by the band and everything. It's really cool. And Mike gifted me the Voivod, right? The Angel Rat demos, and I bought this one.
On Record Store Day, those were like the two most recent Voivod reissues, right?
What was the Angel Rat and Nothing Face?
Yeah.
I didn't buy them because I already have originals.
Yes,
but,
I figured. Dave sold the hell out of them, though.
I'm sure.
Like his top
it's cool that they have to keep the Voivod records in print. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many Voivod records that are out of print that it's criminal, you know.
The only one that I needed that I didn't have was Outer Limits, and I got that reissue. I was like 3 years ago now, right?
They did. They reissued it, but you know, I've talked about this before. All the Eric Forrest records need to be reissued.
Properly, right.
The Jason Newsted ones need to be reissued too. Those are great records.
They are. Yeah.
So, you know, the Voivod can do no wrong, right? So, yeah, that's my pick. Voivod
nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. I've listened to it nonstop. And I hear every time I hear something different that they didn't do on the record. There's a couple little things on the drums and stuff and guitars that are, you know, the demos. So
nice.
But they're very well produced demos. It's very gritty, but hey, you know,
cool.
And there's some lyric changes too. It's very interesting. Oh, here's the coolest thing about this record, right? What do you notice about Nothing Face, right? There's no lyric sheet. This has all the lyrics.
Wow, there you go.
So you finally know what, you know, if you didn't know what word he's saying in one song,
right?
Now you know. I was surprised when I was reading along some of the things. So you know, you hear something and you think it's one thing and it's totally something different.
As surprised as Mike was when he was reading up on that other band.
Actually, my next choice, I was even more surprised, but in a good way, about my next pick. It's crazy, and if there's anyone in the comments that knows more than me about this record, please chime in, because I'm still a little bit hazy on it, so bear with me, but I'm going to do my best to kind of set the scene here. Like 1970, Germany, Dusseldorf, down in the bunker, like the old like war bunker, there were some hippies like jamming out and just playing music. for the fun of it, I guess. There wasn't much to do in Dusseldorf in 1970, so they would recording all these jams. Never got, as far as I know, it never got released at the time. And then like a few years later, like someone that knew the band got the tapes and put it out and put like song titles to these jams, and also decided it was a good idea to put like Hitler speeches interspersed with the music.
Sounds like great ideas.
Oh, right. And also to put like a German...
Guys, we got a winner!
German stormtrooper on the front of the record. These like psychedelic like jams. Can I just show the record? I know you can't wait to see it, right? German oak.
Got me, yeah.
Yeah. Insane record. There you go. That's right, German oak. Thanks, Robert. So, Jesus, how to describe this record? It's like, imagine like if Pink Floyd like did echoes and like the funky parts of Animals, but they recorded it like in a fucking Nazi bunker in Dusseldorf in 1970 with like no production values. It would probably kind of sound like this record. It's like psychedelic krautrock. This is like the reissue. It's been bootlegged a few times. This is like the official reissue on Now Again Records from like 2000.
Oh, it's Now Again?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Charles brings up a good point. What does Hitler's voice sound like when he hits those notes?
He doesn't sing on it. They didn't like exhume his body and like put like time. Yeah, no, good. But it's weird because like I listened to this record with the Hitler speeches in for a long time on YouTube. So when they're kind of taken out, it seems a bit weird at first. But like obviously the band didn't want them in because they were in there without the band's permission in the first place. So
wow.
To get rid of this. And the song titles were originally called like Air Alert, Down in the Bunker, Raid over Dusseldorf, like 1945, Out of the Ashes. It's like, but what it is, it's like an anti-war record, in fact, But
so that record doesn't have the stuff in it, or
no,
it does?
No. I think there's bootlegs with that stuff on it, but this is the only like official proper like reissue on like Now Again Records.
Yeah, Now Again's incredible for stuff like that, man. I mean, like I'm obsessed with the Kashmir Stage Band stuff, and they did that great Texas Thunder Soul like triple LP. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, so this is it's sanctioned by the band. But it's weird that they did like a single LP version, a double LP version, and a triple LP version.
Yeah,
I would say
love it.
I would say get the double. It's just the right amount. A triple might be overkill. But like it really builds up to this like crazy, like super funky, like psychedelic jam over like 4 sides. It's incredible.
Is the triple more songs, or it's just like
I think it's more songs,
higher fidelity?
I just think it's like it's more songs. Yeah. But I think like double LP is enough, even though it's great. And I don't usually do this, but like I found a description written by Disc Union. It was originally in Japanese, and the translation came up, and I'm going to read it because it does like sum up this record like better than I can. So do you mind if I read it? It's like the extreme north of German psychedelic, the muddy, sluggish, druggy, heavy acid psychedelic, rough and harsh industrial white funk like Red Crayola in a hurricane fighting plane. Red Crayola in a hurricane fighting plane. That's a pretty good description of what this record sounds like, I would say. Yeah, that's my 4th.
I'm writing it down right now.
I think people that like doom metal and like heavy rock and like heavy psych really love this record.
Yeah, psych nuts are all about it.
And this is like one of the weirdest, like obscure. I looked at it, I found like so much information about it. I kind of gave up because it's like overkill. It's like just too much. So
Charles is coming at it hard.
Okay, really? Fortunately not. No, it's. But let's just like clarify. This is like in no way, shape, or form like a Nazi record. Okay, I just want to make that clear. It's a bunch of hippies, you know.
We knew you wouldn't show that, man.
No, of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
I remember there was some controversy about it when it, you know, because people did think it might have been, but it's really not. Okay, so.
I mean, that's the funny part of it. Is someone finds these recordings, is like, you know what this needs?
Somebody on YouTube did that themselves. Crazy.
We're going back to
I mean, it might have been with the best intentions too, right? Like thinking like it might. I
think so. I mean, you know, it was to make it sound, because it does sound very, very ominous, and add Hitler in there, it like makes it even more ominous. You know, it's just like punk bands put samples and stuff on them, right? It kind of, you know, samples.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? It's just like that, basically. But I think Germany and, like, you know, kind of got misunderstood, which understandable. So
I do have to say this, and it's my own ignorance. I don't know if I would be able to recognize Hitler's voice.
It depends on how much speed he's on in the moment. I feel like depends on how jacked up he is. Then I'd be like, yeah, that's Hitler.
Let's not focus on the Hitler's part of this record. Like, he's not the star of this record.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna check it out, Mike.
It's amazing. I posted it on the like what are you listening to like Facebook group last week, and like everyone's like, yeah, that's like a classic. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's this psych radio station that's like every Friday night, and it's online. Plays stuff like that all the time.
Okay, cool.
That's the only reason I know what it is.
Yeah, German Oak. Down in the Bunker is what this record's called.
Very cool.
Yeah, Now Again. Anything Now Again, just buy it.
Yeah.
Is it
I
me?
agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I can't remember what I've pulled and what I haven't pulled, and I stare at these records all the time.
Oh no, that's new.
Anyone know this one?
I know the logo, but I've never heard the band. I don't think. Tell me about it.
This was like 91. It's like garage, kind of just indie rock. I don't really know how to describe it other than listen to it. It's phenomenal. They're from California. I stole my dad's like advanced cassette when I was a little kid, and
Dude,
just
that is such
really
a
got
90s
into it.
back cover.
Dude,
that is
right?
I was
90s
gonna say.
back cover.
Yeah, there's a store in California called Six City Records, and the singer, I think, went in there and someone just recognized her and flipped out and had her sign the record. But they're the only store that I've ever talked to that actually knows what this is. But it's one of my favorites, and it sells for nothing because no one knows that it exists.
Nymphs?
But it's incredible.
Like garage,
Yeah,
like is that
it's like,
okay? What is it?
Closer to like it's just 90s rock. Like it's that specific to the 90s where you're gonna hear it and go, oh, this came out in 91 or 92.
But you said it has a garage element, so does it have like sort of like muffs or there's so much like great music came out in the 90s, it's hard to
I know. I'm just trying. You know what it is? It's the vocals that set it apart from everything else. Like it could be just like a typical. I think this press was this was on Geffen.
Can't believe
they only did like a.
It's Nymphs. I thought I said Nymphs. I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right. We love those two.
Looks cool. Looks cool.
I'm gonna find out. There's not many pressings of it, but it doesn't go for much. You never see it. Like you'll find it online for like I think my dad paid $1 for this. Yeah, Geffen 91. I think it was just like Europe and Brazil were the only two places it came out.
That happened right in the 90s quite a bit. Like only released in like Germany or like on vinyl.
Yeah, it goes for nothing.
It was common, Mike.
Yeah, there's 101 for sale for $1.
Really?
Yeah, no, but nothing.
But that's just on CD and stuff like that. Yeah,
nothing.
I guess it goes for more now, like $60 to $90. Look at me, I'm so
you would think like a Geffen major label vinyl pressing. They probably didn't do too many on vinyl, right? In like 1990s.
Oh yeah, it's a strange year for that, you know. But really worth if you see it, grab it.
Yeah, like that stupid Geffen Jawbreaker record that nobody liked at the time. Like you get the original of that, and it's like, oh, that's a house payment.
I don't know how to describe them. I wish I could. They're just so specific. There's only one Nymphs. Like nothing sounds like them. It's just you hear the time in it though. You hear the 90s in it. You're like, oh, this could have only come out in a small window of time.
Cool.
I love
It's
that.
a great
They
record.
probably had a video on like 120 minutes or something, and
it's just also like a really just a killer cover. Like the artwork is just sick on it.
How did you find it? You were just like,
I was just rummaging through my dad's cassettes, and he had the advanced cassette. It was just sitting there.
That's awesome.
It was great. That's how I found everything, I think. Just rummaging through my dad's shit.
That back cover, though, it's like you could not get like more 90s than.
Oh yeah, the back cover especially. Just these guys.
That green U, yeah.
That's like, I think I have 6 records that aren't that band that have that back cover.
Right.
Yeah, but great record.
Yeah. The Nymphs, 1992.
91.
1991. Self-titled on Geffen. Nice. That's new to me. That's a new one. You know what? Just to like sidestep a little bit. You know, like people like me of a certain age, we kind of like were really down on the 90s at the time. But like in retrospect, there was like so much good music in the 90s. In the mainstream, you know, like compared not to be.
I was taught to ignore it as a kid. I was not taught to acknowledge but I was born in 90. I was born in January 1990. So that's what I should have grown up on. But instead I was stuck in 77 for like 30 years.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, compared to like mainstream music now, the 90s was like incredible.
Really
golden age compared to now.
Yeah. Not to sound like an old complainer, but like, you know.
There's a lot of scenes also. There's a lot of scenes in the 90s, like underground scenes that were just incredible all over the US. The New York City scene in the 90s was absolutely amazing. You know, you can go to a club every night and see a different band. So, you know.
That's pretty fast.
It's true.
True,
yeah.
So, I love that guy's name, Clifford the Vinyl Cheapskate. That's cool.
Hey, I have 2 quick updates. One for Clifford.
All right.
Yeah, look, dude, Clifford. This is the Hole Dweller shirt that I just got even.
Oh wow.
Right? And for Robert, yeah, this is a Bananas t-shirt. So I just had to catch up on the chats. I gotta, you know, appease the people.
Yes.
Paul is for the people.
Paul is for the people. I'm for the people, and this voice is free. Do you guys like, speaking of saxophones and horns and bands?
Oh, okay.
I'm not, and you think of then ska music. So punk ska music, you think of Operation Ivy, right?
Right.
After Operation Ivy broke up, Lint went and did his thing. And the other guy went and did his thing. But Schlong is what I want to talk about. Because that band does not get enough attention. And they released a 7-inch that was the entire Fleetwood Mac Rumors album on a 7-inch called Tumors. Everything was the perfect layout, the gatefold and everything. So Lava Socks
Did they have the balls too?
Lava Socks Records redid it as a 12-inch. And it is incredible. When Schlong played Kalamazoo, I asked them about this. And I'm going to get this story wrong. And there's a documentary about the band called Punk Side Story that y'all should check out because it's ridiculous and amazing. Where Gavin had an uncle that was working IT in the White House and gave a copy of it to Bill Clinton, who, as everybody may remember, was a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, who also played saxophone. And was punk rock in his own
nice
way.
time.
So this, as you can see it, this was the Tumors Rumors remake. The first side is exactly the version of that band, of the album. The B side is their 7-inch and some comp tracks that is just incredible. So I have to recant on something I told Mike probably the first time we were ever together. And that was like, they were talking about jazz off camera before the show started. I was like, I don't like jazz. And someone's like, what don't you like about jazz? I'm like, the sound of it. Like, I don't like, the only thing you're supposed to like about it is the thing I don't like about it. But Schlong is probably close to punk jazz, is the way is like Plaid Retina, No Means No, a little bit here and there. Their songs don't make sense. And for as crazy fucking people they are. Another time I went out to San Francisco, I had nowhere to stay. So I called them up. I was like, hey, you played my house in Kalamazoo. Can I stay with you? And they're like, yeah. I slept on the couch. In the morning, they woke me up because the cartoon Eek the Cat was coming on. So Dave Mello it was Pat Mello made him, his brother, and me a huge chocolate chip pancake to watch. Like, I covered the whole plate, 3/4 of an inch thick. And we ate a pancake and drank Olympia beer watching cartoons. And it maybe was like one of the best days of my life. And of course, like I go to daughter, a job, and blah, 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 and all these great things happen. But that's really up there, right? Like that might be on my headstone. Anyway, Lava Socks did this. They repressed it. The 7-inch actually of this goes for like $20. And I think that you can get this for much less than that. Plus you get the first the 7-inch limp, which has the song I Like Cheese on it, and a couple comp tracks. So please, America, go get it. Don't.
I would get that version for sure. Not the
it's
LP.
Ridiculous and great. It takes for anybody that's been in a band that has to learn a cover song. Fine. You go, you practice, you do it, you practice, you try and get it right, and then you play it once. They learned the album and they changed it to make each song unique to them. Where if you didn't know, like you could play that record for somebody that had no idea who Fleetwood Mac was, and you'd be like, yeah, that sounds like a typical schlong song because that's the country part, then the rock part, then the grindcore part, all in the same song.
Yeah, last year they reissued it. Okay.
This is kind of weird, but I heard that before I'd heard Fleetwood Mac rumors, so it didn't make any sense to me at all. You know,
I love that so much. I think an angel just got its wings.
If you grew up in America, you would have heard Fleetwood Mac first.
I mean, I knew a couple of the hits, obviously, from the album, but I hadn't heard the album. But Rumors is a classic too, right?
I mean, they're at the time they've probably since cleaned up the rack since the early mid '90s, but they were just like fucking crazy drunks. Like they would just, but to be able to also, when you hear this, to be able to play with the musicianship and the stops and the tightness, and it's just incredible.
Right. I
can't talk enough about it, but I will because now
that's the reissue. Like that's the most recent reissue of it, or it's the original.
That's the only like you can get the 7-inch still, but if you get this, you get the whole like B-side thing, and it came out within a year ago. What
label is it on?
Lava Socks.
Lava Socks.
Oh, Lava Socks.
They've done a couple of reissues. They redid the first Nuisance record, which is the best Lookout record that they fucking ever did. But a few other things, and yeah.
Cool.
Sleeper played shows with them. Yeah. Mike D got my back. Thanks, bro. See you and Mongo Bobby on the June 2nd.
Beautiful.
We'll be rocking.
All right, Andrew, what's your next pick?
So we were talking about Prog before, right?
We were.
So this record right here, 1968, right? So this copy I've had for a long time. I didn't like listening to it because not the music, because it was real scratchy sounding, and it's not really scratched up, but it had I thought it had some pressing defect. It was too crackly for my taste. There's quiet parts and kind of interludes, and you don't want to hear that shit. We on punk records we don't care, but this kind of stuff you want it clean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to stay clean. But I brought a bunch of LPs to the store that Mem mentioned last week on the show, called High Fidelity, and they have that machine, the Claudio machine. We talked about it. They cleaned this record for me, and I brought it home, and I was skeptical. I'm like, it's not gonna. It'll probably just sound a little bit better or whatever. I put it on. It's like mint record now. There's no noise.
Wow.
That's what he was
saying. I guess there was some static dirt, whatever, that I couldn't see in there, but that wasn't visible to the eye, right?
How pressing is that? That's so glossy.
This is like this is like a 70-something pressing. Okay. Maybe 78, maybe 10 years later.
It's pretty.
I think 76, 70. It doesn't say, but I think it's like 77 or 78, right? But now it sounds amazing. It's like a totally different experience for me. So I've been playing it every day. It's like my favorite record now.
Yeah, for some reason, I'm not into a lot of prog, but I can get into almost any era Crimson. Like
this is the king.
Even
of
Discipline, like
right
later, I love
Discipline is amazing. Yeah.
Didn't like the guys from Yes and Genesis hear this and go, "Oh, okay,
we need to.
This is what we need to be
step
doing,
up our
right?
game.
Yeah,
we got to up our game, right?" So
it's fucking heavy, like
it's fucking heavy, man. And
except there's also a lot of very quiet parts, which is why you need a very clean pressing of that record, right?
Precisely my point, my friend. Yeah. And now that this is clean, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. And
well, yeah, there's so
I
many
paid $10 for this
parts of that record, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool. And funny enough, there's some connections here on the show to this record too, because I played I picked a Voivod record right before this.
Yep.
And they did 21st Century Schizoid Man on the Phobos CD, right? And in the chat, we have Mr. Charles Maggio.
He was in King Crimson?
No, he was in Rorschach. And Rorschach did a cover of this as well. So this record has far and wide influence in the metal, punk, and hardcore community. Regardless of if you like it or not, it does. So there you go. Boom.
So my introduction to this record was sort of terrifying, right? Because so my mom was into the style of music, like from Michigan. She'd seen like the MC5 and all this shit, and she was into King Crimson. And as a baby, I would see that record and I would freak the fuck out. Like, I have terrifying memories. And she would tell me that she'd pull it out and put it on, and like, because she has like the matte finish one, and I actually have her copy of with the watercolor and those crazy things, and I would see it. I would just start crying and freaking out, and then she would put it on, and she'd try and be like, "No, it's okay."
About like that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's not helpful.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah, and I was like, "Why, Mom? Why do you hate me? This is the way I am. You did this to me."
Gorgeous.
I still nudge her about it from time to time, but yeah, it was as a child seeing that fucking terrifying, and I still have those memories. It took me a long time to come back to it.
Do you listen to it, Paul?
Yeah, I do listen to it.
Good stuff, man.
Also, still going to like family therapy, working through my issues, as well as taking watercolor classes.
She could have solved that problem by like immediately showing the first Gentle Giant album, which has a very like
that would help.
Friendly giant's face on it.
No, she just told me to shut up and put a cigarette out of my arm. That's how I learned to be so strong. No, none of that. But that's what it felt like. Remember when you're a kid and you're inconsolably terrified about something that doesn't make sense, and then as an adult you're like, wait, that was it?
I mean, it's pretty scary though.
I think it's all the way over there. I have a Celia Cruz record, like a late Celia Cruz record. My mom's like really into salsa. And there was like a record from '96 where she's wearing like a fruit basket on her head, and she's not a beautiful woman to begin with, and she's got this big smile, and she scared the shit out of me. The cover of that record, I was like, this is the scariest woman I've ever seen in my life.
Right? Holy shit. That's the
There's always
thing.
stuff like that.
Your mom is the best, though.
She really is. She's a maniac, but she's
except for that scar that she gave to her daughter. But yeah.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I was thinking of that. Queen's News of the World robot cover was also a kind of scary one.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant manager of Needle and Groove Records, chiming in here.
All right. Hi, Dylan. Thanks for tuning in. There you go. Cool.
Yeah, so that's my pick. I'm loving it right now. So.
I wasn't ready for that record when I was like about 20 years ago. Like that heavy part, and then it just like I could not deal with all the quiet parts of it. But I'm well over that now. I'm all in.
Yeah.
With all eras of King Crimson. All in.
Can't go wrong, man. No. Can't go wrong with
I feel like people hate Discipline. But I love Discipline so much.
It's the best of like that trilogy, right? The Discipline and Three of a Perfect Pair and the other one.
I'm still just stuck with that one because I just will put it in a room with myself at night and just say affirmations to it.
But the best King Crimson, well, there's two. My favorites are Red, and then that crazy live album that sounds like it was recorded on a 2-track tape, Earthbound.
Yeah.
It's fucking noise. It's like noisecore. It's crazy.
I gotta get more into the discography. I have some, but this is my favorite right now.
It's good. Start at the beginning, then like
only because I got a good copy now. So and it's crazy. I didn't have to buy a new one. I paid $4 from the Clean It.
Yeah, that's wonderful. There you go.
Worth every penny.
There you go. Oh, it's the last round.
Last
Oh,
wow. Having fun.
Let's make it count.
Hell yeah.
So this is funny, actually. I was gonna kind of talk about this by saying, is there a band that you guys like that you kind of have all of the discography, but there's like 1 or 2 albums that you've never heard or like never been able to find? Yeah, it can happen, right?
Yes.
Mine is GBH.
Many.
Oh, okay.
I love GBH, like right up until like the late 80s, early 90s. But there was like one album of theirs that I'd never heard and never seen it on vinyl. And just last week I found it on vinyl. And it's great. It's like, also it's from 1992. And well, we'll look at the back cover in a minute. This is like, it's a Church of the Truly Warped.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that.
It's like 1992. It's on Rough Justice. So they were like label mates with the Crumbsuckers and Agnostic Front, Circle Jerks.
Right? Yeah.
And this is their like most crossover record. GBH is kind of very metal-y, but it's really good. It's like super catchy. I mean, if you like GBH, you probably like this record. So I'm really.
Who doesn't?
I'm pretty sure I saw them around that time. They used to play in New York a lot. GBH played in New York a lot.
Right.
They had some kind of connection with the Ritz. So they used to come over a lot and play at the Ritz. And I saw a lot of shows where GBH was playing, and always amazing.
They can do it. They do a Zero Boys cover on this record, I Need Energy, which was really left field for like 1992 to like do a Zero Boys cover on an album. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's super catchy, like metallic hardcore. And we've got to look at the back because it's 1992. They were going for the state of the art, like digital effects.
100%. If it's not what the Nymphs did, it's totally like that kind of thing.
Yes, it is.
Want to be AMRAP,
There you go. I bet they thought this was amazing. Oh, gee, how did you do that?
There's only one single pressing of that. That's it.
I believe so. It was really hard to find, and I looked it up on Discogs. It's kind of expensive, like on Discogs.
It is. It's like average of 100 or so. Yeah.
No way.
This was 600 yen at this union. So, but great record. But then on
my want list now.
Yeah. Then I realized there's like 5 or 6 more records after this, which I'm gonna get to at some point. But
I was so pissed at my dad for not showing me the Zero Boys. Like, I didn't know about that record until I started working at Generation, because Mark used to play it all the time.
Classic.
But Vicious Circle is literally one of the best fucking records of all time, and it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously GBH were big fans too, right? So, I Need Energy, they covered it. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
I had no idea, like, at 92 they were still a band.
I don't think they ever broke up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Still around, right?
Hey, for anyone in New York this weekend, Saturday, May 6th, Amityville Music Hall, New York, GBH.
No way.
Sunday,
Really?
Sunday, May 7th, Gramercy Theater, New York City.
Oh, shit.
GBH.
I live 10 minutes away from Amityville Music Hall.
Yeah, we're both like around.
We should go. We should go, Amanda.
Yeah, Amityville Music Hall. I get you guys know that place, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, it's
real
crazy.
Tomorrow.
It's almost like down the block from the store you keep mentioning.
Yeah, the store I talk about it's like walking distance from Amityville Music Hall.
There you go.
Oh, it's Gary's 50th birthday party.
There you go.
Oh, happy birthday,
Oh, tomorrow
Gary.
night too?
Gary from Kill Your Idols.
Okay.
Sheer Terror. It's his birthday.
And he's going to the show. Are they playing the show? Who's opening?
I
don't know.
Is he going to jump out of a birthday cake?
Mike D, give us the info. Who's playing?
Yes, put it in the comments. We'll see who's playing with GBH tomorrow night in Amityville. There you go.
Yeah, and it's actually near the Amityville Horror House too.
Wow.
I can take
MDC.
From DC.
Oh, MDC is playing. Okay.
I almost pulled that record too.
The first album.
Yeah.
It's sold
Sold out.
We're not going, Amanda. We can get in though if we wanted to. Trust me.
Oh, hey Pam.
I can figure it out.
Hey Pam, going to see them in Pittsburgh on Thursday. There you go. Cool.
I can't wait to go to Pittsburgh. I'm going to Pittsburgh in July just to hit stores. I'm excited.
Pittsburgh is the second best city in America. Undiscovered best city in America. Have you been there?
Oh, great punk coming out of Pittsburgh recently, right?
Not since I was really young. and not for records, you know.
Yeah, you'll have fun.
Now I just travel to towns for the stores, which is a problem. But
no,
I'm jealous when you do that, by the way.
Offline, I'll tell you some cool places to go there to find some stuff that people usually don't think to go to.
I'm driving New York to Kansas City and back in July.
Wow.
Amanda, would this be a good time to talk about the Women in Vinyl thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Where do you start? So it's just a nonprofit organization. This girl, Jen, started it a few years ago. I think it was almost 5 years ago now, where she just highlights, it was like a blog initially, just a blog that highlights women working in the industry, pressing plants, labels, stores, DJs, all sorts of stuff. Then created a website out of it, created a podcast out of it, kind of just blew up. And now Marshall actually just recently donated like thousands of dollars, and they send girls to camp, like lathe cutting camp and internships at pressing plants and all sorts of stuff. So it's really just a resource for chicks getting into it now, which is really cool. Just getting the younger generation into it.
Very cool. And by the way, Jen has like the best Black Sabbath collection ever. So you need to have her on the show.
Like 45 different variants of Master of Reality.
Every variant of Masters of Reality and stuff. It's crazy.
Are you going to cut through Cleveland at all and go to Gotta Groove?
I want to, but it's kind of more north than I'm always going. But I can.
I mean, Pittsburgh to Cleveland is maybe an hour and a half, and Cleveland has some good. They have some good digging spots. Yeah.
Okay. I should send you my site. I just recently made a site that lists like every record store in every state.
Wow.
Alphabetically, and just sends you right to their like social media and stuff like that, so you can see what they're posting and what they're getting.
Put it in the comments. Put that site in the comments.
I should do that.
Yeah, or I can update the video description.
It's not by area. Like I'm trying to push people to just kind of become obsessed with the store and then go there. I don't want to give you the address. I don't want to give you the hours. I don't want to give you the stock. You just figure out where it is and go.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect.
Beautiful.
But yeah, every store in America, luckily, so far.
What's your next pick?
Oh, me. Sorry. Okay. Last one. I got it yesterday.
Wow.
And you'll all know it. And I made a little post-it for it because it was on the wall for like 3 weeks and I was getting pissed that it never sold. So I just took it out of spite. But this is the reissue.
Okay.
With the triple LP with the bonus 7-inch. And I don't own this. Don't know why I didn't own this. It's a freaking classic.
It's on my list.
It's one of those things that like my dad just never showed me, but I don't know why. And it's great. I'll hold it against him for a while. But yeah, amazing reissue by Matador. Just gorgeous packaging. I don't know what it is about like trifolds that I love so much, but they're just excellent. And it's so glossy. Yeah, it's a really nice package. Really freaking. And it was sealed. And I don't usually break open sealed stuff, but it was the reissue from like 2001. So I was like, I'm going to crack it open. It's beautiful.
What's your favorite song on there?
Insanely Jealous, I think. I don't know.
Soft Boys. What's the name of the record again, Amanda?
I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Just so everyone can see.
There you go. Yeah, it's like that record and then the Doctors of Madness, that band.
Yeah, the one before this is pretty hard to find. I've been looking for it for like a couple months. I can't find it. But yeah, Underwater Moonlight.
Like right in my end of high school, so this is like 89, 90 to like 90, 91, where I would go down to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I would always see Robin Hitchcock. Like he would just be there. And at one point, there's this Cool Kids Records, and he was just in there. He was just like tearing open records and like signing them. And like a dude came up and was like, "Hey, you can't." Oh, okay, yeah, you can. And then another time, there's this vegetarian restaurant called Seva that's really good in Ann Arbor. And I was there with this girl, and she's like, "That's Robin Hitchcock." And we looked over, and he's there. And he asked for like a cutting board and a knife, and he pulled his own like chives out of his pocket and started cutting them up and putting them on his food. And then when he walked away, we walked him and the lady that he was with like walked down the street with his fucking onions hanging out of his pocket. Just the weirdest thing.
I saw him in the airport once. I used to travel for work a lot, and before COVID, of course, and I saw him in like Sky Harbor, Phoenix Airport, or whatever, and he had his guitar, and he was just the coolest fucking guy in the whole place. You know, just like everybody's delayed, the people are pissed. He's just even. Robin Hitchcock, you know,
it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians, that was his band, right, at that time.
Yeah, but that soft boy stuff.
It's so good. I mean, I just didn't know it.
Me neither.
I couldn't believe I didn't know it.
Still haven't heard it. Like I said,
really?
It's like they're like, there's two bands that I can't believe you've not checked out. It was like Soft Boys and Doctors of Madness. Like they're like, we can't believe that you've never heard these two bands.
So. Yeah, it's just cover art. I always saw on wall displays, like when you have it, you're displaying it, you're showing it off, but I never listened to it, and it's incredible. It's a great record.
Maybe I'll find that.
Get the earlier when I got Cannabis.
So my last pick, we're on the 5th pick, right?
Yes.
Started off weird for me because I didn't realize I was a foodie until I was looking for a burrito recipe, right? And I found this book about teeth, and the burrito recipe, very simple. Ingredients: 8 whole grapefruits sectioned, 1 sewing machine diced, the universe, a small globe. Direction 1, place the globe in a stove and vomit. 2, take the universe, place it in a mixing bowl with the diced sewing machine. 3, mixed with hand blender. 4, throw the grapefruit at someone. 5, serve mixture in a bed of Wrigley Spearmint chewing gum. I was like, that is the fucking best burrito recipe ever, which led me to this record, the elderly juvenile delinquents on parade with their album 800-Story Building Drowning in Cum.
Oh,
yes.
That was Brian from Drop Dead's favorite album of last year.
Do you know this record? It's so ridiculous. The first song is that fucking dog, and the lyrics are like, that fucking dog snorts cocaine with his dick. That fucking dog was in a krautrock band called Cucumber Salary in the 80s. You know what? I mean, it sounds tongue-in-cheek and it sounds horrible, but in like the good way of like, hey, they just went into the studio, this thing exists, and that's funny. But here's how it gets elevated. There is a lyric sheet. This is not tongue-in-cheek at all. They like put this down. They're like, hey, you know what's gonna be great in that fucking dog song is when I talk about how he stabs cops, and like it's so ridiculous. And I know like, and I love that like Coltrane and like all of these great artists exist, and I know that there's good songs out there, but this is the reason that I love fucking punk rock and stuff, because I love the silliness, and I love that somewhere somebody's like, you know what, I'm gonna put money behind this because someone's gonna like it, and I'm the somebody. I'm somebody. And this record is so silly. If you've ever heard of like Sockeye or those bands, Food Fortunata, and all of those Cleveland bands that just do silly stuff, this is that. And look at that cover.
Yeah, I mean,
it's horrible and perfect. The music itself, you'd think it'd be like 4/4 punk, but it's almost a little. It has like elements of sort of lower-fi driving Jesus Lizardy stuff. It's not just like crazy blasting stupid silly things. Like the music behind it is thoughtful as well as the ridiculous lyrics.
So the name of the album is Elderly Juvenile Delinquents on Parade?
That's the name of the band. The name of the album is 100-Story Building Drowning in Cum.
Okay. Excellent.
That's the
and I think if you go to their Bandcamp site, you can get this record.
Pretty affordable. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go to their Bandcamp site because they'll throw in like a Sockeye 7-inch, and like when it came, I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do with all this garbage? I mean, of course I think one of the dudes might have been in Blatherskye, or like there's some sort of crossover there too, but It's so silly. I think I've listened to it and listened to it and listened to it, and I just can't stop. There's even like a weird sort of funk song on the B-side, like dance funk song that lyrically is horrible, right? But no one listens to like dance and funk songs to be like, yeah, they're speaking my language, right? Like, I love it.
I'm gonna get on that.
Beautiful.
No one's gonna get on that, but I appreciate the fact that this is a
I'm
platform
gonna try that out.
Talk about it. So good. Those are the records that I like the Schlong records and the stuff that are just like the art behind it. It's like, hey, why not? They've got zero backing except for like their allowance, right?
Call those Paul records.
Fair, 100% fair. Once like I can unpack my shit and like actually get into my room, hopefully by the end of like June or July, you'll see the breadth, width, depth, and weight of the records I have, and I'll start pulling like the We Got Your Shorts comp 7-inch out and some of that stuff.
Luckily, I'm so limited with space where I have to, every time I buy a record, I have to give a record away or sell one at this point. So I'm not making any money, I'll tell you that.
Or get a bigger apartment.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I hear you. I hear you.
Andrew.
I can help you with that.
Yes, I know you can.
Oh, God,
that's true.
Yes, you can.
Okay, that's good to know. I forgot about that.
So, is your last choice like a three-bedroom apartment in Amityville?
Yeah, I just want an office.
We're
I
shooting
just
for
want
a
someone
house
to house
for
these
you.
records.
We're shooting for a house for you.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting married this year. I should be saving money for that. I'm not.
Amazing.
I'm not saving money for that. It's all going to records. It's a real problem. Like my 12-inch singles are completely separate. I just have hundreds more on the other side that you can't see right now. It's a real problem.
Yeah,
Andrew, what do you got?
Yeah, follow that.
Last pick. Last pick.
pick.
All right. We're going to talk about. I don't think he's ever been mentioned on the show. And I think I've watched all the episodes. But it's the man. Has he been, Mike? I don't think so.
You know what? No.
And
Should have
he's
been.
the king of heavy metal, man. Why aren't we talking about Ozzy? He is the king. And he's not getting enough love. And, Ozzy needs love right now.
Yeah, it's
Ozzy's
a beautiful copy of Diary, too.
I have the exact same one.
This is the Japanese press I got from Vinyl Conflict.
Ah.
So there you go.
But
he probably brought it back on a pilgrimage.
Yeah, he probably brought it back.
He probably brought it back and I snagged it. But Ozzy's the man. And this is the last Randy Rhoads record, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Randy's last studio performance, right?
Yeah.
Because Tribute came out, right? Tribute was live, right? But I love Ozzy, man. Love Ozzy. I've always been a huge Sabbath fan from day one. And I love all the Ozzy solo records up to a certain point. Probably I check out after Ultimate Sin, probably.
It's crazy how much Ozzy sells. Like, it just flies. Like, the later doesn't matter.
Right.
No More Tears. Did the pressing sell out or something like that?
That reissue went
flew.
The color copy, the black copy, gone immediately.
Yep.
Can imagine.
I can't hate on those records. They're a little too pinch squeal for me with the Zakk Wylde stuff, but the harmonics he does and stuff on the guitars, it's a little too much. But
that was another band. Seeing some of those Ozzy records when I was a child, I was just like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I'm drawn to this, but I'm terrified at the same time. He's got a mouthful of, is that guts or jelly?
Upside down cross, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely it's my
little kids being tormented in the background.
That's his kids on the record.
Yeah. I think that's his daughter, right?
Yeah.
His first daughter.
I would say the craziest part on that is like that probably took like 4 hours to do his hair and makeup.
and this one is like the suit from Volume 4, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, there you go. So
that's the best solo Ozzy record in my opinion. The best.
Oh yeah. I love Blizzard of Oz too, and I love the second Bark at the Moon and Ultimate Sin, of course, but because the Jakey Lee stuff is great. He's a great guitar player, They had a really good band for that record. It's not the best. It's a couple of good songs, but I saw them live on that tour. Really good. Really good.
Yeah, Cliff Cheapskate brings up a good point in the chat of just kind of the overuse of Crazy Train, kind of capitalizing on the.
But Crazy Train isn't on that record.
No, this is the second record. Crazy Train's on the first.
But I know what he's saying.
Oh.
But yeah, I was looking through my records. I was listening to some Ozzy stuff, and I was like, I don't think Ozzy's ever been on the Analog Attack. On what are you?
Not as a guess, no.
No, I mean people representing us.
We'll get him on.
I'm sure you've talked about Ozzy on your channel.
Yeah, but you're right.
Sure.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. No one showed an Ozzy solo record.
No one showed it, so
no.
I'm the first.
There you go.
So there you go. I'm the first.
I was just trying to stay away from Motorhead. I thought that's the best I could do for you is just don't touch Motorhead.
God, actually, I don't think
I'm surprised.
I don't think anyone's even showed a Motorhead record yet.
Oh, come on! I should have. Oh.
Maybe.
So, do a bonus. Do a bonus Motorhead right now. Come on.
Right? Just pull out like one of my 9 copies of Iron Fist over here. It's probably blocked in by a box. No, that's all.
I gotta tell you,
like right now.
If anybody knows Amanda, she's the biggest Motorhead fan I've ever met. So there you go.
I'm gonna lose some points, but
stomach, so.
I have
also,
0 Motorhead
tat. So
you have 0 Motorhead records.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the newest reissue of this Iron Fist because it's just pretty. It's real pretty.
I mean, I've got a lot of Schlong records, but no Motorhead records.
Yeah, I just love the color.
You should, Paul. You should do a band called Motor
nice.
and cover
Oh my god!
But like in Motorhead style.
That record looks great, and I'd love to.
Did such a good job.
Did you get all the deluxe box sets of Ace of Spades?
I have that too. Yeah, me too. I couldn't pass up. I was trying to decide, should I get the color, should I get the triple LP, and then I just decided on both. And look at where we are.
What I did is I got the CDs first. Thinking, the records are too much. So I got the CDs, and then I was like, Jesus Christ, I need the records as well. So I ended up buying the record box sets as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like a nut about anything that came out in '82 because that's when my dad's shop came out. Yeah.
I like the idea of maybe doing, if you could theme the show to where everybody like researches the records they're going to do to be like between 90 and 95 and an $8 record, like something affordable. So
I
like really like
doing that. It's kind of hard enough to organize as it is without like imposing, but it would be great. It would be absolutely great.
Because now I got the Nymphs on my list, and like, come on.
Oh, I think you'll like it. It's just different.
I'm totally gonna like it. I just won't be able to afford it.
It's gonna be hard to find.
I can't believe it's actually that expensive. I'm shocked.
But Mike was right when he was saying that was that era when the major labels were doing very few records, and now that they're, and they make it impossible for the bands to buy them back and release them at,
Yeah, it's true.
Do you remember when I talked about that band Twitch? And I said,
from Michigan.
And I was like, that's one of my favorite records of the era. And you were kind of like, really? And then it's like Michigan band. And
I got my people looking for that. There's CDs around. I'm gonna get you a CD copy of that.
Twitch beaten.
Do you have the Jedi 7-inch? And
no.
Do you have the Homewrecker 7 CD?
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, I'm gonna make sure that you get that.
Love that band. Twitch, great band from Michigan, 90s grunge-ish kind of a band.
How far are you from Grand Rapids?
I used to live there.
Did you ever go to Vertigo when you were there?
Yes, a lot. Why do you say it? Do you know Brandon?
I just love that store. It's a great store.
Did you ever go to the Corner?
No. That's the only store I went to in Grand Rapids, and I have a feeling that the area was just, I missed out.
So here's the thing about the Corner record store is you walk in, it's the regular size of a record store, all vinyl everywhere. But they had a back room that was the size of a gymnasium. Like literally you could divide it and play a couple like 5-on-5 basketball games like in it. And it was all vinyl and it was all just like pick and choose. And
I'm pretty sure they're like highlighted on my site because how cool the pictures were.
Yeah, and they had another just like 45 room that was just like vast, and I found just crazy stuff just digging through. But you got to put the time in. Yeah,
Yep,
Vertigo's great too. Herm is
there's a giant picture of Corner Record Shop on my site because I just find these shops. I'm like, I gotta go, and then I never make it there. There's too many shops in the world. I'm coming back.
Some of them are garbage. So
I know. You figure that out slowly, but you got to check it out for yourself. I feel like everyone's looking for something different. You know what I mean? Right. So someone could tell me a store is trash, and then I go in there, I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. His store was great. But then sometimes the tips are real. And then it's like, oh, okay, I could have skipped this one.
There's a store in Detroit called, oh shit, I can't remember the name of it. But it was literally like you had to knock in and they had to like buzz you in. And I spent like 3 hours there, like looking through everything. And I was like, oh my God, I got buzzed in and everything. Like it was seriously like fencing on the doors and fencing on the windows, and I'm buying nothing. Like,
oh shit.
I bought 0 things. I know. I thought that like even the start of that story, I was like, how does this end? I'm like, oh, I remember how it ends. Horribly and boring. Like, it was just like a part of my life that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there was a really cool shop in Providence that just relocated to Boston called Music Research Library. And they were in like a weird factory area where they had to buzz you in. It made me feel special. Like it was a secret only I knew.
Wow.
But it was cool. Now their new storefront looks beautiful.
Where have you been then, as far as, I mean, this can go around. Where have you been that's knocked your socks off, like secretly, that you've been like,
oh wow. Hands down, I'll tell you every time, Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I
100%.
drove all the way to Nashville, and the highlight of the trip was fucking Cincinnati.
Yeah, don't go to fucking Nashville record stores. They're stupid.
Honestly, I wish I had just skipped it and went to Memphis, or like at least hit the Knoxville stores or something like that. But
where'd
Shake
you go
It
in Cincinnati?
Shake It is one of the best stores I'll ever go to
100%.
for the rest of my life. Just stupid good. Everything's clean. Everything's a promo. The stock is endless. The people are nice. I mean, just stupid good store. Torn Light's good too, but Shake It was just I can't stay away.
We're getting an education
third store there too.
Yeah. Paul, how about you?
That? Where, Andrew?
I said we're getting an education here about awesome stores.
Yeah, let's go around like Paul said. Like, Paul, you have a favorite?
I've got a lot of favorites. My most recent favorite is it's outside of Phoenix. It's in a very weird, wealthy neighborhood in one of those constructed malls that are like, they look like they're built for people to it looks like a Disney World, right? And you'd think that this was only a place where they sold like bobbleheads of Justin Timberlake. But I went into this. If you
would still go there.
Well, if you go to Phoenix, you go to what's the name of the place, Andrew? You know the place.
Double Nickels.
Double Nickels. You go to Double Nickels first because Double Nickels is
collective.
Phoenix did a thing where like all of the record stores closed down. So this one guy was like, "Hey, we all have stock. Why don't we just rent out cubes for our own independent stores, and I'll manage it similar to like antique fairs, but it's all with records."
Tempe.
Wow.
It's in Tempe, Arizona.
And it's really great. And it's interesting because you can find the same record in one spot and then another one like 4 doors down from a different vendor. And the price might be different. Quality might be. It's just great. I love going there.
The stock looks incredible. A lot of punk, a lot of metal.
A lot. Well, you don't even know where you're going because some of those places that they don't show on there, as this guy just like has a booth and it'll just be like boxes of like Soul 45s or whatever. Like you don't know. It's amazing. It's in a creepy area only because it's desolate. It's not like creepy like, oh, there's lots of people around. It's creepy because like, oh, fucking no one's around.
Yeah.
Like,
the owner told me one time that he helped the feeders glue the sandpaper to the covers.
Yep. That guy's fucking nuts.
He was friends with them when he grew up with the feeders guys.
Wow.
If you want to hear like
the sandpaper to the covers. It's crazy, right?
So he gave me this tip.
That's cool.
For a store that's south of him, even in a very wealthy neighborhood in that mall of that creepy or like that a place that you'd be like, oh, this looks like a Sam Goody, But I went in there, and some people just keep dumping collections and moving to the suburbs. And it was the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I'll buy another copy of the first Lemonheads 7-inch for like $20. Like, of course, I'm gonna find somebody who wants that. Stuff like that was just like rolling through, and I walked out with a fistful of great things. And I could tell that if I would have spent more time, it'd be more stuff. So that's my store.
Nice.
Incredible.
Andrew, anything you want to shout out?
I mean, actually, Paul turned me on to this store. Everybody knows about it now. Radiation Records in Anaheim, California.
Fuck yeah!
I went there a couple of times, and Paul was like, "Get ready to dig." So I spent like a whole day there once, and they have like 5 different walls of just every punk record imaginable. And I saw the DRI 7-inch. The guy gave me a good deal on it, and he went up to get the DRI 7-inch off the wall, and there was like 4 copies. He's like, "Oh, pick the condition you want, like one." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Who has 4 copies of the DRI 7-inch, the first 7-inch, you know?"
Wow.
30 on EP, like, just blew me away. So, and they put out a lot of records now too. So they have like, they've got a whole thing going on. They do record swaps and stuff, and they've got a whole sick thing going on. They get a lot of great punk records, punk, metal, hardcore records.
I think one of the most amazing things to me that I realized, like traveling across the US and probably like Andrew being on tour, and even you, Amanda, and like shit, Mike, you like growing around, is like the stuff that's popular like on the East Coast are like dollar bin in the Midwest and West Coast, and the same thing. So like when I went up to the West Coast, I'm like, man, I just hope I can find like a Gears record. Every store I went to had a fucking Gears record, right? Like on the East Coast at like $150. There, I'm like, oh, here's one for 30. Like I'm fine with that, So that's kind of. I remember when Anthony Roman had his store, he would tell me, he's like, "Hey, if you find any Urban Verbs records," I'm like, "Yeah, I find them all the time. They're like $1 record in garage sales all over the Midwest." He's like, "Send them to me. I get $20 for that shit in my store." Like, all right.
And shout out to Vinyl Addiction, Dave, because that is literally one of the best fucking record stores in the world.
Maybe we'll
US.
Maybe we'll get him on.
Signed his lease. He's here to
stay. Get him on. Yeah, he's like, metal, punk, hardcore, indie. He sells a lot of hip hop too.
Crazy good prices.
Crazy,
just like
incredibly
fair.
You're gonna spend a couple of $100 when you go there. Yeah. Guaranteed. The walls are always like, holy shit. That's still here. Like you go in there and like you're like, how did somebody not buy that Exodus record or Possessed record or something like that? Like
that's his like major complaint. Like, like metal doesn't sell here, and he sells a lot of hip hop. I think it's because of the area that he's in. But Jersey stores, they're so spread out. To for him, it's really just him and Sound Exchange in that area. And then you got to hit like a whole other area to do Revilla and Spina, and then you got to hit a whole other area to do record. So they're all like half an hour away from each other, which is kind of
more sometimes. Yeah, that's a good point. But Vinyl Addiction, I think, is like
100% worth a trip.
It's like the East Coast. It's like the New Jersey Vinyl Conflict, right? It's like specializes kind of. He does have a lot of rock records now, and he's got to sell those to
He's got a great CD selection.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy good.
Here's the thing about, for anybody out there listening in YouTube land, if you don't see something you want, ask Dave, ask the guy at Vinyl Addiction, because he's probably got it in the back. Like without a doubt. When you say you're going to spend a couple $100 there, it's like you're going to spend a couple $100 on a pile of records. Like not like this many records. You're going to spend it on this many records.
Yes.
Yep.
Because when I was there, I was like, hey, there's a couple Voivod records I'm looking for. He's like, which ones? I'm like, this and that. And he's like, give me a minute. Like he's like, similar to the Radiation. He's like, choose the one you want.
Exactly.
I mean, the floor is only so big. This store is small, but this storage, I mean, he's got so much in the back ready to go out. He's constantly refilling the bins. It doesn't end in there.
Kind of like Amanda, probably, as you know, like how the frequency of things that come in to sort through, to fill, to figure out what you need to pull and go through is just, you kind of need an intern.
Yeah, you definitely do.
He's got employees now.
He does. Yeah, apparently Douglas is the man. I'm very excited to meet him.
Oh, I mean,
It's, if you're in the city, 100% worth it, because you're probably only like 40 minutes tops, because he's just outside Jersey City, North Arlington,
Yeah,
right?
it's like from Manhattan, you could drive if you're driving.
From the
You can
Holland
get there in
Tunnel,
20
it's
minutes.
nothing. Yeah.
20 minutes.
Is he going to be at the record show on May 21st in Maplewood, New Jersey?
In Maplewood, he might. That he doesn't do a lot of shows anymore, but Maplewood is one that he usually did do.
He at least goes to it.
He does. He always shops.
They're buying, probably.
It's North Arlington, New Jersey, right near Kearney, closer to what's the major city over there?
Newark.
Newark. Thank you.
Well, it's at Vinyl Addiction Records on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
there's parking around back, and then you just walk to the front.
Yep.
I'm just gonna shout out. Like, I always talk about Disc Union and stuff on this show, just because I do buy a lot of records from Disc Union. But there is so many other great record stores in Osaka. So if you're ever in Osaka, I'm going to recommend a couple. Punk and Destroy, for all your punk and hardcore. It's a tiny little shop dedicated to punk and hardcore, and then just down the street is Revenge Records, run by Jackie from Frampton. That's punk and metal. What else is there I should say? Wild One is a good one for used heavy metal and prog. Wild One Records. They have the Neat Records fist as their logo.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great store. What else?
Mike,
Rockstack. Sorry,
Mike. What store would have good mod revival power pop?
Time Bomb.
Okay.
That's a long-running independent store that has one shop in Osaka. So yeah, Time Bomb is another one. And then I was going to mention Rockstack, which is 100% heavy metal store not far from here. There's SA Music, SA Music too, which is also just metal only. But these are all very
sounds like Mecca to me.
And I'm just mentioning just a few off the top of my head. There's a whole bunch of others too.
Paul, when are we going, man? Paul, let's go, man.
Welcome anytime.
We'll hit the metal shops. We'll hit the power pop and mod shops.
I mean, seriously, all the stuff that is in vinyl conflict now all comes from Osaka and Tokyo and Nagoya. All the used stores.
We'll ship everything back UPS. We'll be all right.
I'll be the roadie for your new band. Play 2 shows over there. I'll come over and help you guys set up, and then.
That was an amazing episode with Bobby and guy from Sorry State, the guy from Celebrated Summer. Excellent episode.
It's great because
it's a good mix.
3 good friends. It was funny
because spilling some industry secrets. Which is
I was it's just who are you distributed by episode?
I love that.
Into, the distribution.
That's awesome.
They're going to be on again, Tony's coming on again in a couple of weeks, and so is Daniel actually from Sorry State. Bobby will come on again too. So I'm going to announce a next week's show. We were talking about Pittsburgh, right? Kind of next week's kind of a Pittsburgh special, I want to say. Eric Good from House Rotten and Caustic Christ. Eric Montanes from Government Warning.
I didn't have enough time.
There we go.
I was getting there.
All right, yeah. Eric Montanes from Government Warning and the White Stains and Direct Control. And Dusty Hanna from Pleasant Dreams Records. That's in Pittsburgh, I believe. And the organizer of Skullfest, which is this great hardcore punk festival.
So tune in. Man. I'll be tuning in.
Next Friday, same time, 10 p.m. Friday, whatever the date is next Friday. That's what it is.
Oh, it's the 12th. All right. It's the 12th.
The 12th. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks everyone for coming on. It's been
are we sticking around?
Really good episode. I've had a great time. Let's
do it again. Are we sticking around for a minute?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, good.
For the what was it? The Patreon's bonus content.
All that bullshit.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay healthy and stay